welcome back to my channel. I am Amber from Amber's Books and More, and today it's time for Top 5 Wednesday. So Top 5 Wednesday is a group over at Goodreads that I don't know who it was originally created by, but I do know that Sam over on Thoughts on Tomes is one of the main people on that. So I'm not sure if she created it or whatnot, but I will leave the information for Top 5 Wednesday on Goodreads down below if you want to join in. So basically every Wednesday they give you a topic for Top 5 and you discuss it. So this week's topic is actually your top 5 favorite LGBTQIA plus characters or books written by that, LGBTQIA plus author. So one of the ones I'm going to pick are technically, I've seen the TV show, but I have not read the book, but they are both LGBT in the book and in the TV show. So let's just go ahead and jump right in and get started. So the first one I have is Dumbledore from the Harry Potter series, but most specifically in the Deathly Hallows. So I know a lot of people criticize JK on this because he was not openly gay in the books. And then afterwards she says, oh yeah, I always kind of saw him as gay. But the whole scene in Deathly Hallows, which, spoiler alert if you have not read it, which I don't think it's a huge spoiler, but there's scenes with Gellert Grindelwald that when he was a child, that I totally read as him being in love with him and him being gay. So I picked up on that gay vibe from him, and I definitely think that it was awesome to have that shown in the book a little bit. I do wish that it was shown more, but Albus Dumbledore is my number 5. So my number 4 is going to be the Vampire Lestat from the Anne Rice Chronicles. So he is bisexual, basically. So even though technically vampires cannot have sex like a typical human can, they do get lustful feelings and love, and he easily will tell you in his books that he thinks both men and women are both beautiful and that he would easily fall in love with either one of them. And in fact, he kind of does fall in love with Louis from the Interview with the Vampire book, and then also with David kind of in this book. But I definitely think that he's an awesome character in showing that even though technically he's kind of asexual because he's a vampire, he's not really asexual. He's actually bisexual, and he loves both men and women, and I really love that bisexual representation in these books. So for the next one, I'm going to go with More Than This by Patrick Ness. And so not only is the main character Seth, he's gay, but also the author is gay, and there's many other characters in his books that are gay or bisexual or anything, but I really like the representation because in this book, even though it was a struggle for Seth's love interest to be known as gay, even though technically he was bisexual, Seth really didn't have a problem with being gay. He was more hurt on the way that his lover kind of handled things, and it wasn't a thing. It wasn't like, oh, I'm coming out, this is how people respond. This is more of, this is what happened, and I happen to be gay. So I really loved this book. I do love Patrick Ness, and I love the character of Seth. He's my baby. He's my little baby boy, and I love him. So definitely check this out if you like those types of characters. So for number 2, like I said, I don't have a copy of the book. I've never read the books, but I will show you. I will insert a picture in just a second of not only the book, but also the character. And so the character I'm talking about is Emily Fields from the Pretty Little Liars series. So insert picture. So in the books, apparently, I believe her character is bisexual, but in the TV show, she's completely lesbian, which I'm totally fine with, because I love her, and the actress that plays her is gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous. And I really like, I do wish kind of that they had made her bisexual in the TV show, because I've heard there's a struggle with that, she comes out to everybody that she's gay, and then all of a sudden she finds herself falling in love with this guy, and she doesn't understand what that means. And I think that is something that's never really talked about for bisexual people, and so I definitely want to see more of that in books and TV shows. But she's definitely number 2 on my list of favorite LGBTQIA characters, whether the book bisexual or the TV show just straight lesbian is fine. I like her both ways. Both ways. No, but I really love her character, and I love the actress. I want to see her in more things now that the show's about to be over, which I'm so sad about, but I'm excited to find out what happens at the same time. So either way, yeah, so let's get on to number 1, because I could talk about Emily Fields all day. So my number 1 pick is actually both the author and some of the characters, or a character character. So, and this is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. So V.E. Schwab herself does identify as bisexual, which I think is awesome. But then also, most of her characters are so fluid in their sexuality. You know, she has stated that, you know, Lila is someone that will fall in love with whoever she falls in love with. She's very fluid. She'll fall in love with a man or a woman, either way, you know, and she's also kind of gender fluid as well. She kind of identifies both as a man and a female, and I think that is awesome. And then also you have Rye, which Rye is bisexual, openly bisexual. And then you have, you know, his lover, Alucard, spoiler, but Alucard is also, doesn't come into play until later in the series, but he is also gay. Then, you know, they say that if you watch interviews with Victoria Schwab, she has stated that she wants books that every gender and every sexuality can kind of identify with, and I do love that, to where sexuality isn't really a thing in her books. It's more about the magic, and everybody's sexuality is just kind of fluid. And in fact, she says in this series, you know, the in Grey London, the King George, I believe his name is the only straight character, and that is awesome. This whole series is just awesome in that type of representation, and I love Victoria Schwab for being so brave and open about being bisexual, because that is hard to do. You know, it's hard when you don't want to, especially when you're somebody like an author or an actor or somebody to where your very livelihood is based on other people relating and reading or watching. And in order, you know, saying I'm bisexual is something that can push some people away, but it could also bring others. But saying, you know, I'm straight could also do the same thing. So just talking about sexuality in itself on the internet or on TV or anything is very, very difficult. So I definitely, you know, commend her, and also Patrick Ness himself as being openly what they are, and I definitely love that. But this is my number one pick for LGBTQIA characters and author. You know, this series probably isn't for everyone, because it is a little bit more high fantasy. And how I would describe the series, so for people that don't know, as far as what they're about, I've talked about that before. I've done reviews before. I'll leave a link above. But book one is very world building, and so they're building the world and getting started with the plot. So then you go to book two. Book two is very character building, and so the whole thing is about these characters building their magic, building their relationships, building their self, building up to get to this new big evil. And then book three is like heart-stopping action plot. It's so good. And so, you know, go into it knowing that you're not going to have plot and action all through them. You're going to get character building with book one. You're going to get world building with book one, character building with book two, and then you're just going to get straight up plot. I mean, some plot in book three. So definitely check these out. Alright, so that's all I have for you today. That was this week's Top 5 Wednesday. Definitely check out, I have a playlist that I will link up above of other Top 5 Wednesday videos that I've done. Definitely check those out. It's just a lot of fun to be a part of this group, and I enjoy doing these, even though every single one of them is not my taste. That's okay, because when they are my taste, I'm excited to film them. So yeah, until next time, everybody have a great day wherever you are, and I love you. Bye!